The film begins in the year 1989 in the city of Berlin at a time when Germany was divided into two countries, namely East Germany and West Germany, and there was a separation wall between them called the Berlin Wall. On one of the streets of the city, the British agent James runs at full speed, as if he is running away from someone chasing him to some extent by reaching an empty street and making sure that he was able to escape, but suddenly an Arab woman appears behind him, confuses him more than once, and the Russian agent captain gets down from her and points a pistol at James, who says that he knew that it was Sechin who betrayed him, but he was thinking that he would die at the hands of the most skilled agent in ironing. The KGB of the Russian intelligence is not just a small agent like him, and the captain laughs at him and kills him without hesitation and takes an hour from his hand, and it appears here that she is very important, and then she shells James's body and throws him into the river 10 days later. And in the city of London the British agent Lauren appears, no GLAY, and I asked her about what happened in Berlin. The story begins on the day that James dies on a mission to get a list of the names of all the double agents in the world, and the list exists at the hour when the captain captured it, and Lauren is called in as the mother agent of the British intelligence agency. Lauren sits with the commander of special missions for Agent C and Bacon Agent Eric together with him, and he assigns her the task of retrieving a secret list containing a list of the names of double agents, because of whom it is possible that the Cold War has been going on for more than 40 years, and who was able to steal it and handed it to James, and she is disguised as the lawyer responsible for receiving James' body. And about the deportation of the body from Germany to Britain, and Lauren arrives in Berlin and waits for David in front of the airport, but he is too late for her, and suddenly TG Arab tells him that he followed David and they will deliver her to him, and Lauren Arab rides, and she notices a girl watching her from afar, and Lauren moves with them. She quickly attacks the agent next to her. She takes him out of Arabic and then kills the market and does an accident in Arabic. Suddenly David appears and is happy to get out of Arabic and walk. At the same time, Russian agents remain cooperating with the German police and are looking for Spike Glass. And because Russia considers him a traitor and she wants to kill him, and the police catch every day a group of young people at home who are in the same place Spike Glass is in order to find out where he is, but it is useless for Lauren to return home and enter the bathtub as usual to treat her body wounds, and suddenly, with a sense of the reason for his death is that you see pictures of James with David, and suddenly you hear the police voice, and he doesn't have any weapons, and you get a long rope and use it as a weapon, and you get rid of 6 people from the police, and then she drops the rope from the balcony, ties it in one of the policemen's watch, and calmly walks down the street. We return to the Bureau of Investigation in London. Lauren tells the investigators that there's no limit to knowing that she isn't James other than David, and we return to Berlin at the time Lauren goes to the morgue to do her job as a lawyer, and the procedures for receiving the body are completed, but the official discovers an error in Lauren's passport and prevents her from receiving the body until she fixes the error. Maybe Lauren deliberately has an error in her passport in order to have a reason to sit with her more time in Berlin, and then she goes to David and asks him about his photo with James, which she saw in his apartment, and David laughs maliciously and tells her that he forgot to tell her that they were friends, and Lauren is trying to interrogate him, and because she a bar where a high-ranking KGB official and Bacon go by the name of Ibrahimovic. The first thing that reached Ibrahimovic, he recognizes her, but they are interrupted by a French girl, and her name is Colvin, and it turns out that he is the same girl who was watching Lauren the moment she arrived in Berlin and represented to Ibrahimovic that she and Lorraine are friends, and Ibrahimovic has to walk, and then Colvin apologizes to Lauren for her interference by saying so. She wanted to save her, and by identifying herself, he was working as a translator and asking her to go out and give her the address of a club where she is always present. Then she walks and leaves her, and Lauren remains suspicious of her, but she does not have proof. Then Lauren goes to a watch shop, whose owner remains a British client like her, and gives her a certain watch in which there are updates to the location of someone who helps her. She searches for a captain and tells him that the person will be very useful to her. At the time David appears at home listening to Lauren while she is at the watch shop. On the second day, Lauren prepares her passport to leave for the city of West Berlin and shows the Russian agents watching her in all her movements, so Lauren decides that she is distracting them and enters a different building from the one where the assistant sold her, and there she is surrounded by Russian agents. But she appreciatively gets rid of them and escapes through the back door of the building and goes to the desired place, and there she meets the client and sits down with him. So we go back to Lauren. We interview her at the intelligence building, and the agent asks her why she hired people in another city. Although her main assistant is located in the East and is originally David, Lauren thinks about what they said to her before the task, which is that she never trusts anyone. And let's go back to Lauren, who is sitting at her house and hears the recording she made of herself while at the bar, and then thinks of Dolphin. She decides she's going to the club. There they meet, and Dolphin asks Lauren that they talk in a quiet place. Suddenly Lauren attacks Dolphin and takes the pistol that is hidden from her, and Dolphin admits that she is from the French intelligence and that she is investigating James's death, and this is because he is an agent of the Alliance and they were almost interested in France to know the reason for his death, but she gives and says that it was an easy task idea. But she discovered that Berlin is a dangerous city full of Russian and German agents, so Lauren decides that she accompanies her because she might be useful to her at one time, and they come home together, and then Lauren speaks with her mouth shut quickly, and the sound of music turns out to be a serious piece of information, and at the same time beckons to the same watch shop. He tells the British agent that the watch is with him, and she sells it to the state that pays more, and then he walks and leaves him, and David stays watching him and waits for the right time and attacks him and kills him and takes the watch from him and walks. At the moment, British intelligence is still waiting for any important information from Lauren, but it is too late, and they decide that they are being sold to GLAY, who remains the same American agent to investigate with him. Then Lauren meets David and asks him if he knows where the captain is, but he tells her that he knows nothing about him, even though he is the one who killed him and took the watch himself. Lauren believes him and him because she doesn't know that he is lying, and asks him if he is confident in spy class, and him because they sacrificed their lives in order to cross from the east side to the west side, from the Russians and from the Germans. David tells her that he is the most trustworthy person in the whole world. Lauren is surprised and asks him if they had met before, and this is because he told her that he had never met him before. Then David confesses to her that he lied to her and that he actually met him, and says that Spyglass saved the whole list in his memory and because he was a very important agent for them, and we return to the intelligence building. Lauren tells the investigators that if she knew that Spyglass was an important client, she would have focused her priority on him before any need, and Agent Eric says that originally David called them on the same day and informed them that the clock is with him, and Lauren is very shocked. Then she looks at them with a mocking look and tells them that she should have known her. David and Peggy agree to the date of the mission, and Lauren meets Spy for the first time and reassures him that he will be fine, and by leaving him out of shape, he still has to wear a certain dress specific to the West Side, so that he can prepare and bring Lauren's assistant passports, and David wears the dress of a German officer in case he suspects him, and before they move with the intervention of a mother with her daughter, they become his wife and daughter with Lauren very fanatically. She tells David that de McNish is part of the plan, so David tells her that this is his plan, and Lauren is fanatical and has to work extra passports for the mother and daughter, and agrees with David that Spy is with her, and the mother and daughter are with David, and shows the Russian intelligence spread all over the buildings on the street. David and Lauren use the time of the demonstrations to hide among the people and go out with the demonstration, but intelligence agents can determine their location before they shoot. Lauren consulted with the assistant who sold her and who suddenly let a large number of people open umbrellas at once, and David tells Lauren that this was not part of the plan, so she tells him that this is her plan, and David drives to the police car that she is riding and lets Spy's wife and daughter ride him. Then he looks at his gun and shoots Spy himself and an acquaintance of Lauren, Meehan, who hit the shot, and notices that there are more than one sniper in a certain building, so Spy quickly takes her with her and walks towards the building and can defeat all the agents in it. But Spy Bacon is seriously wounded, and Lauren gets out of the building with him and finds a policeman, so she heads towards him with a gun, gets on his Arab and moves at full speed through the streets by following her more than one Arab, but she can get rid of them easily, and then by leaving the Arab to treat spies wound. But suddenly a huge Arab Lauren loses her mission and gets out of the water and returns home and is sure that David is the one who reported the plan, and it is not impossible. The intelligence service used to connect them with ease. Dee prefers to search everywhere in her apartment for a listening device, and she sits on the floor, collapsed and distracted, and suddenly thinks about herself, and she is in David's house, and she has the jacket on, and she shows the jacket by receiving a listening device implanted in it professionally, and suddenly Tiggy, Dolphin, and Lauren tell her to run away because they are exposed, and she turns on the device and Lauren collects her need and walks. And Dolphin comes home and enters a room full of pictures of Lauren, and then she calls David and tells him that he cheated on her and he wanted to sign her because he knew he was belittling her, but what he doesn't know is that she might turn on and hang up and then gather. Dolphin takes a certain photo, puts it in an envelope and writes Lorraine's name on it, and at the same time the people succeed in tearing down the Berlin Wall in order to unite Germany from the second. At the same time, David goes to Dolphin's house and attacks her to kill her, but Dolphin is able to hit him with a knife in his back before she dies, and a little later Lorraine arrives and sees Dolphin dead and collapses from grief over her, and then she enters her state by meeting pictures everywhere and finds an envelope with her name written on it. The first thing you open is you see a set of photos of David while he is with the Russian intelligence official Ibrahimovic more than once at the time. David is with him with the watch and is preparing his need to run away and play at home to erase all the evidence, and then he goes out to get in his Arab, but Lauren meets him and hits him with fire, and David falls to the ground, so Lauren takes the watch from him, calls him by the name of the double agent Seychelles and kills him, and we return to the British intelligence building at the time of their interrogation, and investigator Eric tells her that she has lost the task and that he does not. There's no reason to kill David. Lauren becomes intolerant of them and tells them that they sent her to a hornet's nest and that they knew from the first moment she arrived in Germany that her identity had been revealed. Although they almost left her, and she told them that she knew that they needed the watch to cover up their scandals that they did during the Cold War and that for them it was just a tool to fulfill their requests and abandon them. They heard David's recordings with Ibrahimovic and a photo that was with a dolphin in the envelope and a violin with him as captain before he died, and assured them that the double agent Seychelles, which was the reason for James' murder. Eric asks her about the location of the watch, but Lauren says she doesn't know. So Agent C, who was watching the conversation all the time, comes out and is not Arif informs the Prime Minister of the information D, but he considers the investigation that happened with him to be ongoing and that the mission exists in the first place, and tells her that she will give her a vacation for a fairly long period of time. He sets the date of her next mission. Lauren returns home and prepares her bags to travel to Paris, and there she has completely changed her shape, and by intervening to a hotel where she met Ibrahimovic himself, she gives him the watch and tells him that she had a sense that he killed her, so he takes Ibrahimovic at the hour, and suddenly two men enter, surround Lauren, prepare the bag in which her body lands, and Lorraine takes out her pistol, which is hidden in the snow, and picks up everyone in the room, including Ibrahimovic, before he died, told him that he was stupid because he was a thinker who gave him the real clock, and that all those who dealt with them were stupid because they were not employed by any of them. After she leaves the hotel, she arrives at the airport, and there her client forms a private jet with an American agent and tells her that they have returned home, gives Lorraine the watch, takes a deep breath and is at the peak of her happiness, and finally comes home after an absence of years, and we understand that she is originally an American agent.